Good morning and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Here on Dawn Busters this morning we have two Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. The first is Bellows. Bellows bourbon whiskey, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Yes, Bellows really is from 1830. It was established in 1830. Now there's a yellow, you see this yellow, there's a scene in the background of like a distillery. It's like etched type of artwork, but you can't really see it over the video camera. There's WB at the top in the box, WB, William Bellows. But they got bought out a long time ago, and now Bellows is under the control of Luxco. There is an age statement. I thought there was. Mellowed 4 years in oak barrels, which is the law. Let me update that. The oak barrels is the law, not it doesn't have to be aged 4 years. Let's see. 80 proof minimum requirement, aged 4 years. So it cannot be lower than 80 proof, and it has to be aged at least 2 years to be straight bourbon. And all the whiskey must come from the same state, which in this case it does, Kentucky. No, okay, so let's see, 96 proof. 96 proof, no age statement. There we go. Now, we have Bellows we have Daviess County. Bellows versus Daviess County. This is a double mash bill Kentucky straight sour mash bourbon whiskey. The double mash bill is a high rye bourbon, aged at least years, blended together with a wheated bourbon, aged at least 4 years. Okay. This runs about 38 to 40 bucks. Bellows, you might find this bottle, you might find a bottle of Bellows for $15 perhaps. But this is a liter. So you might pay, well, you probably get it for $15 or $16 a liter. But I didn't pay that. I paid $5.99. Now that is not a lie. Seems like it, doesn't it? But it's the truth. I was at Savannah Discount, and the guy's like, "My friend, would you like to try Bellows?" And because they got some salespeople there, and I said, "Oh no, I've had that." But something in my mind said, "Wait, you haven't had that. You've had the blended ones." So I went back and I looked on the shelf again, and I was saying, "Wait a minute, I never had the straight bourbon version of Bellows." So I went to the counter because I didn't see a price tag, and I said, they had like about 6 bottles on the shelf. I said, "Could you scan this for me?" "Oh yeah, sure." The lady said $5.99. Well, no way I was letting that go. Daviess County, like I said, $38 to $40. Got it at Mathern's for $14.99. True story, $14.99. So both of these prices seem bizarre, and they are bizarre. Unusually low. Wooden cap, real cork. Okay, real cork. Real twist cap, beautiful plastic twist cap, black. Yikes. That was way more than I wanted. That's still evened out though. You can see that the Daviess County is darker, the one in my left hand to your right. So it's darker amber. This one's lighter amber, more gold than amber. Okay. You would assume, and I know I would, that a 80 proof, 4-year aged, basic Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey is not going to compete against a 96 proof sour mash, double mash bill bourbon, right? That's probably going to be the case, but we don't know until we do the challenge. Is the complaint about Bellows going to be that it's terrible tasting? No. If you get a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, I don't care what the brand is, chances are the worst you'll be able to say about it is that it's dull. You know, you just might say, well, it's kind of dull, ordinary. Okay, but it's not going to be bad. And honestly, you're going to find that Jack Daniels and Jim Beam and Evan Williams aren't better. They're not worse, but they're not better. So the question is, why are you paying Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, and Evan Williams prices when you could get a substitute like Bellows that's going to taste just as good, but it might be $3-4 less, or in some cases, like with Jack Daniels, $10 less? The answer would be you shouldn't do it. You should buy the cheap one because it's going to be just as good. Now, blind taste tests have demonstrated that. Yeah, it smells like sweet corn and not a whole lot else. Maybe. Who produces that for Bellows? I don't know. Maybe it is Jim Beam, because Bellows never owned distilleries. It was never a distilling company. It was a wine and liquor merchant company. What they did was they would contract with people to produce wine and liquor and put their name on it and sell it. And their headquarters was New York City. That's all they did. There was never a Bellows distillery. That was not their business model. Sort of like J&B, Juster, Rennie and Brooks, you know, from Scotland, J&B. The Scotch is from Scotland, but the headquarters is in London, and they've never had a distillery in their history. J&B is not a distilling company. You said, but there's all kind of J&B scotches that various countries get. I know that. It's made for them under a contract. Okay, they don't make their own. All right. Doesn't seem to hurt their popularity. It's very popular. All right, it's like Pabst Brewing Company. They don't really have a brewery. They had a little mini brewery, but during the scamdemic it shut down. But they just pay people to brew their beer. It used to be a brewing company, but they shut down their last brewery in 2001. It was just they determined it was cheaper just to pay somebody to do it. Now I don't. The main thing I know about beer and liquor is to taste it. You know, how the businesses operate. I'm not too dialed in on that. So what's better? I mean, if it's working for Pabst, they're making money now. They were struggling 20 years ago with this overhead that they had. So, but I don't know. You know, I really can't tell you. Yeah, basic. Sweet corn, candy corn, maybe oak. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of it. A vanilla from the oak. That's it. It's just basic. Nothing bad. Nothing that it's not a turnoff. Jack Daniels does have more oak presence, so you could say Jack Daniels has a stronger charred oak presence, and it probably has a little bit more character, but it's not much more. And once again, I would buy this 100 out of 100 opportunities versus Jack Daniels, simply because I'm going to save money every time and I'm not losing anything. Or if I am, it's so minimal that it's not worth worrying about. Much more presence, stronger, heavier bodied, bolder, because it's 96 proof versus 80. A lot more excitement going on here. The high rye, the wheated gives it a softness. High rye gives it the mintiness. Has everything more. It's clearly better. Okay, the Daviess County is clearly better. But why wouldn't it be? It's a $40 bottle, 38 on the low end, and Bellows is on the high end. You might find it for 17, but I doubt it. I doubt you'll ever see it priced that high. You know, really, it's just going to be $13 to $14. If you see it for 17, I wouldn't buy it. I can assure you I wouldn't buy it. But for the regular price, 13, 14, yeah, why not? Heck, Kentucky straight bourbon. But I got it for the super discount price. But that's kind of like not even worth mentioning in these videos because no one else can find it for that. But I just stumbled across these crazy quilt prices. All right. So clearly the winner is Daviess County. There's no argument. Oh yeah. But the Bellows is okay. It's all right. And it's nothing to get excited about on the high end or the low end. In other words, it's not bad enough where you would get excited about it, but then it's not good enough where you get excited about it. It's just medium level, bland, dull, ordinary. And that can be said for some major brands as well. And we know that. All right, we're going to close it out. Here's a comment. Liam Gillespie says, morning, Ron, having sardines, scrambled eggs, and a pint of Murphy's Irish Stout for breakfast. Breakfast? Maybe you should have some coffee. All right, but thanks for watching. Y'all take care. Tomorrow we go on into blended whiskey, American blended whiskey. So straight bourbon has ended for now, or any bourbon or straight bourbon has ended for now. It's on to blended whiskey tomorrow. So y'all take care and see you then.